Okay, now that we've got the drive unit installed on the bike, we need to make sure that it's installed correctly so it engages the tyre and works properly. So there's a couple of things you need to do here. So first is, that's really important, is the position of the motor relative to the tyre, such that it can engage the tyre and transfer the power of the motor to the tyre. So the main thing to check here is to stop the rear wheel from moving, slowly lift the motor with one hand and turn it. If it slides on your tyre rather than tries to climb up it, you essentially need to move the whole drive unit up your seat post. So loosen off your two screws, slide it up a bit and try again. But all you're doing is lightly lifting the swing arm into the motor and then rotating the motor so it tries to climb up the tyre. So if it climbs, that's pretty good. If it doesn't, then it will slip during usage. The next thing is to adjust the counterbalance. So there's a spring in the back of the unit around here, buried inside there, and this little collar there adjusts it. So if you loosen that grub screw and then rotate that collar, it can increase or decrease the amount of force that the counterbalance spring provides. So you want that so that it's a very light load to lift that motor. Then the reaction torque is when the motor starts up, will lift the motor into the tyre and engage it. Next is the dead stop. So there's two dead stop adjustments. There's a grub screw under here and there's one in here. And they need to be adjusted to limit the range of motion of the swing arm. So one of those is how far away the motor will swing to provide clearance to the tyre. So you want just to make sure that there is always clearance when the tyre spins. So that's looking fine for this one, but if it wasn't right, what I'd be doing is adjusting the grub screw at the top here. Now these are quite stiff, so it's a little bit fiddly, but that's intentional so the grub screws don't move once they're being used. The next one is how much the drive can engage the tyre. So there's another grub screw under here, which is the second dead stop, and that limits the range of motion, so how far that swing arm can move. So we want to obviously stop the motor from swinging too far and hitting anything, but we do want to allow it enough range of motion to actually engage the tyre a bit and be able to transfer the power. So this might take a little bit of trial and error, but you can see it's not a lot of range of motion. That's where the motor's just hit the tyre, then it's only a small amount that I've allowed it to rotate past there. That's enough to transfer 500,000 watts without any grip tape in the dry. But if you need more engagement because you're getting slippage, you can just unwind that grub screw and that'll allow the motor to rotate more and provide more contact pressure with the tyre, and that'll allow a higher power transfer. But the more you engage the motor with the tyre, does come at a penalty. It takes a bit more energy the more you engage with the tyre, so it may be less efficient. So it's a bit of a balance there, but that's it. So once you've adjusted those, you should be pretty much ready to go.